Find that discount with 0% financing. Take it from me. We became Vermont's largest Ford dealer by finding a way to make a deal and earn your business.
So drive Route 14, 15, or 16 to Hardwick and get a great deal during the 20th annual Car, Truck, and SUV Challenge happening now at Lamoille Valley Ford.
The Brady Farkas Show is produced and funded by WDEV and the Radio Vermont Group. We welcome listener feedback. Email your comments to wdev@radiovermont.com.
The energy.
So the barber trims my beard all nice, like an artist. Now, I didn't tell him to do that. I wanted the beard gone. So then I went home and shaved it off completely after I was done. I felt horrible.
The passion.
Rafael Devers is the biggest contract in franchise history. He needs to be a leader for this Red Sox team.
The opinions on all your favorite teams.
Are the Patriots close to playoff contention? Yes. Are they close to Super Bowl contention? Hell no.
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? Brady Farkas Show here on a Friday on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. Full show, all 90 minutes. We're up until 7 o'clock. A ton to get to. We'll get you ready for the UVM Men's Championship game tomorrow. Jay Alter from ESPN, who's going to be on the call. He's going to be with us in 15 minutes. He will be in Burlington tomorrow. Look forward to talking to him. We'll get you updated on the UVM women here in a second. We got breaking news in the NFL. The Chicago Bears have traded the number 1 pick in the draft to the Carolina Panthers. So the Panthers now will have the top pick in the draft, and they will get their choice of quarterback. Will they go with C.J. Stroud? Will they go with Bryce Young? Will they go with Anthony Richardson or Will Levis? They will get their choice at it. I got to tell you, these are the days that remind me why I got into the business. Right here. Today, this weekend, this is what I love about this business. The Panthers acquired the number 1 pick 3.5 minutes ago. We're the first to tell you about it. I love that feeling. We got a UVM women's basketball championship game going on right now. I got one eye on the microphone, one eye on the text line, and somehow a third eye on the screen watching this game. We got a championship game tomorrow at Patrick Gym with the UVM men. This is what I love about this business. Being out, live events, big sporting events, big sports stories, nationally, regionally, locally. This is awesome stuff. We are here for all 90 minutes. And you can be in with us. 802-585-3026. The Napa Morrisville, Napa Waterbury text line is how you can get in. Again, 802-585-3026. Let's waste no time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
The opening thoughts on the Brady Farkas Show are brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and by Swanton Lumber, Vermont's most complete locally owned home center with locations in Enosburg, Derby, Middlesex, St. Albans, and at Swanton Lumber. They're online at sticksandstuff.com. This UVM title game right now is an absolute rock fight. Elisa Kresge said it the other day, right? She was talking to Andy Katz of NCAA.com. She predicted this would be a low-scoring America East final, and we are headed for what I would have to imagine is a historically low championship game. Total, like, the score right now, there's 4 minutes to play in the first half. UVM is winning 10-7. Like, we are headed somewhere for a final score of 38-36. Like, I remember, like, most high school games have higher outputs than what this game is probably going to have. I misspoke a few minutes ago. At the end of the news, I said it was an ugly offensive performance. I really don't think so. This is excellent defensive basketball. This isn't just two teams that are missing layups. This isn't two teams that are turning the ball over. These are two teams that are following their defensive principles and are playing really, really well. I mean, yes, 10-7 looks like an ugly output. And of course, you'd want to see the score in the 20s or 30s by now. But these are two teams that are playing really good defense. Albany, I got to tell you, they are in every lane. UVM is having a really hard time getting shots off. I mean, they are not able to get to the lane. UVM has been forced into taking threes, too many threes probably than they want to. I think they're 0 of 8 right now from 3, but 3 is the only kind of shot that they can kind of easily get. And even those are not particularly easy. As for UVM, they are playing really good defense as well. Albany is getting a couple of more looks, but they're not knocking them down. Vermont is doing a good job at getting out to shooters. They're doing a good job blocking out. Like, this is textbook defensive basketball. So if at the end of this thing we see a final score of 38-36, don't think it's because these two teams couldn't play offense. They know how to play offense. They're both playing excellent defense. If you're asking me what this game is going to come down to, I would say for Vermont, they're going to need a really big performance out of Emma Utterback. And she's been one of the catalysts for this team all year. She is the fastest player on this team. She has a quick first step. She's kind of the only player athletic enough to penetrate what Albany's doing defensively, right? She can get out of transition. She can outrun the field. She can have a first step and blow by somebody off the dribble. They're not going to be a whole lot of just one-on-one creation in this game. If you're UVM, Emma Utterback is the one that can do it. Catamounts just hit a 2. They're up 12-7 with a minute and a half. 12-7 with a minute and a half left in the first half. Like Utterback just got a steal, just blew past the field, and now it's 14-7. Like, that's what that's what UVM is going to need. If they're going to win this game, if they're going to pull it out, you're going to have to think it's because Utterback did things like that, used her athleticism. Other players on this team are obviously very good, but in terms of athleticism, Emma Utterback is the one that had it. She just got another steal. She just went to the bucket again, and the Cats are now up 9. So all of a sudden, UVM now has doubled up UAlbany. It's 16-7 and 1. Utterback's going to go to the line. And man, I am just excited. I love this time of year, and I love when games like this come to our backyard. I had somebody tell me a couple weeks ago, Brady, you're talking about UVM too much. And I don't know if they were referring to the UVM men, the UVM women, or both, but I got to tell you, I don't think I am talking about UVM too much. I am so pumped by what's happening right now in Catamount country. I feel immense pride in what these programs are doing and in what these programs are accomplishing. You've got a women's program that's looking to get to the tournament for the first time in 13 years. You got a men's program that's looking to keep up sustained dominance. And look, like, I'm technically an outsider. I'm not from here. I didn't go to these schools, or I didn't go to this school. If I feel this much pride, I can only imagine how a lot of you listening feel. If I am this invested, I can only imagine how invested a lot of you are. And that, to me, is why we talk about this so much. I get more engagement on social media when talking about UVM than anything else, except for this high school story from this week. I get more texts almost on anything else. Or I don't get as much text on anything else as I do when I talk about UVM. And I think now I'm so jacked up because I don't know when this change took place, but I feel more like a Vermonter now than I ever have. And that, to me, is why I'm so excited, why I'm so behind these teams. I'll level with you. First year I was here, 2016-17, UVM played UAlbany in the men's final. I was at that game, and I was rooting for UAlbany, right? The first year I was here, I was rooting for UAlbany. I was from Albany. My brother was a student in Albany. I had worked at Albany. My first job in radio was at Albany. I had interviewed all those players. I had interviewed Will Brown. I had a good relationship with him. I was rooting for Albany. Like, it was great that UVM won, and I got a lot of social media content out of it, et cetera. So it was good for me career-wise, but I was rooting personally for Albany. And now, 7 years later, I can't imagine rooting for anybody but UVM. Like, I'm so invested, and I just feel like this is home now. I just feel like a Vermonter. So I'm all pumped. John in Moncton, Thank you for the updates on the UVM women. Keep it coming. Catamounts are up 17-10 with 30 seconds to play. The big concern, I would say, for UVM right now, the big concern is this. UVM on the women's side is not very deep. They will play 7 players, but they're not very deep. They are getting more contributions, but they're really only going to play 7 players. They are having to expend so much energy, both offensively and defensively. Your worry is that they will wear down or tire. Now, they are used to playing a lot of minutes, right? This team, these starters play 35, 37, 38 minutes. They are used to playing a lot. But this is a different intensity. This is a different energy level. Offense is hard. Defense is hard. Albany's going to press, and you start to wonder, will they be able to hold up? Now, the Catamounts are up. We are officially at halftime. It is 17-10. That is your final. We got a football score and a low-scoring one at that for your halftime update. 17-10 UVM. If the Cats are going to win, they're going to have to be able to keep this energy level up. The only worry I have is that UVM will eventually tire. Now, Albany will have the same worries. They'll have to expend a lot of energy as well, but they seem to be rotating in more people. Now, I'm watching this game on mute. I have one eye on the screen and one eye on the microphone. I'm into it, but I know UVM way better than Albany. They seem to be playing more players. My worry for UVM is that they eventually tire. That said, they have, again, been prepping for this moment all year. Their starters are absolutely used to playing 35, 37, 38 minutes. Again, the Cats are up 17-10 right now. 17-10 at halftime. All right, Jay Alter from ESPN is going to be with us here in a couple of minutes. Since we're at halftime in the women's game, I want to move over to the men's side of things. I'm beginning to think that the Catamounts are going to absolutely roll UMass Lowell. And maybe I'm caught up in the moment and maybe I'm just stupid, but I'm thinking that UVM is going to roll UMass Lowell. Now, I don't know. When I say roll, I don't think they're going to win by 40, but I think they're going to win convincingly, somewhere between 12, 15, 18. I do not think this is going to be a game that we are sweating out in the second half. And as we get closer to game time, I just think this team will have more motivation than I accounted for. Think about this. The UVM men right now, this moment, are in Patrick Gym watching the UVM women. They are seeing a conference championship environment. They are seeing it in their building. When you see that, how could you not want to replicate it? How could you not be jacked up by it? Dylan Penn essentially said that yesterday.
Oh, it's incredible. You look through college basketball, not many teams get the opportunity to have, their men's and women playing in the conference championship. And the fact that we have the ability to host is phenomenal. And when you got a great fan base like we have out here in Vermont, it's special, and I'm excited Friday. I think it'll really give me a little, juiced up to play a little bit more on Saturday. But, just overall, I think it's just a great thing for the school and for the community.
So Dylan Penn says, hey, man, the energy and the juices, they're going to get flowing right now. We're going to see it in front of us. We're going to see it in our building, and I'm pumped up by that. How can you not see what's transpiring and the energy and intensity in this women's game and not want to duplicate that yourself? Of course you are. I hadn't accounted for that. So UVM sees this game right now. I think they're locked in. I think they're focused. I think they're ready to go. And by the way, no matter what happens in this women's game, they're going to be motivated by the result in some way. Right? There's always a healthy rivalry, friendly rivalry between your men's team and your women's team. There always is. If the UVM women win this game and get to the tournament, the men are absolutely not going to want to be one-upped by them. They're not. They're not going to want to be the team that couldn't get it done. If the UVM women win this game, the men will look at that and say, okay, now we got to do our part. We can't let them be the only one to represent. Now we got to do it. And if the UVM women lose, they're going to look at it and say, Well, now we really got to do our part. We got a chance for 2. We can't get 0. I had not accounted for how this women's game was going to play into the men's side of things. And I think it absolutely does play into it. And you know what else plays into it? Is something that John Becker said yesterday as well. The UVM head coach was talking to the media, and he said this.
All the guys that are exhausting their eligibility have been at least to one NCAA tournament. I think we all are hoping that we can deliver for Dylan and let have him get that experience.
I hadn't thought of that either. That also is a big motivational factor. This team, these players, want to get Dylan Penn to the NCAA tournament. You look around. Every returning player on this roster has been to the NCAA tournament. Some of them have been to multiple NCAA tournaments. Dylan Penn has not been to one. They know the story of their teammate. You know the story, right? Dylan Penn's at Bellarmine. Really good player. They transitioned from Division II to Division I. They are ineligible for the NCAA tournament. Last year, they win the Atlantic Sun tournament, and they can't go to they cannot go to the dance. So Dylan Penn leaves and says, hey, if I can't go to the tournament, I'm going to go somewhere where I can. He chooses Vermont because he thinks he can get to the tournament here. His teammates know that he was denied an opportunity a season ago, and they want to get him that chance to dance this year. 100%. This team is very, very close. This team is very, very tight-knit. They want to send Robin Duncan, their leader, off on the right foot as he graduates, and they want to send Dylan Penn, their new brother, to the tournament, which he's never been to before and which he had, frankly, kind of robbed from him a season ago. I think UVM takes all of this motivation into account, and I think they roll tomorrow. The biggest key to that game tomorrow is going to be twofold. One, first 5 minutes, right? Or first 4 minutes until the first media timeout. What kind of tone gets set? All the energy, all the adrenaline, everything in your building. If UVM comes out early, first media timeout, and boom, they're up 8-2. They're up 10-4. Then they get the momentum. But if you get down 10-2, 13-6, you're facing an uphill battle. You want to use that first burst of energy, and you want to use it to your advantage. The second thing, the other key is that UVM doesn't get overly hyped, right? I'm telling you, they got extra motivation. They're thinking about it tonight. They're seeing this game in front of them. They're going to be all amped up. You can't have that being amped up turned into being nervy, turning the ball over, dribbling it off your foot, shooting too hard, hitting the back. Can't have that. You got to be amped up, but use it in a controlled way. I am so pumped up. The Brady Farkas Show in WDEV, AM and FM at WDEVradio.com. I know somebody else who's pumped up as well, and that is Jay Alter. Jay Alter is a broadcaster for ESPN. We've had him on before when he did a couple of Patriots games for ESPN Radio. He is going to be in town tomorrow. He's probably already here right now. He's going to be on the call, national television on ESPN2 of this game. Jay Alter is with us now. Jay, thank you for being with us. How are you?
Brady, doing well. This is the best time of year, in my opinion. Can't wait to get into Patrick Gym tomorrow. It's going to be loud and proud, and it feels like a staple of Championship Saturday that ESPN kicks off our coverage in Burlington.
Yeah, the America East title game, or as I sometimes call it, the UVM Invitational. How did you draw the assignment? Usually this is the Doug Sherman Saturday morning special. How did you get so fortunate to come to Burlington?
I don't know. I go where they tell me. I've been in the ACC all year, and in years past have done the ACC tournament on ESPN Radio. And this year, the folks at ESPN said they'd rather me on the TV side. So I'm fortunate to be on the call and really looking forward to it. This will be my first time on TV sending a team to the NCAA tournament, so that's kind of a bucket lister for me.
Have you been to Burlington before?
I have never been.
Oh, well, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be, I'm sure, 35 and snowing outside, and there's still snow on the ground. So I'm sure you will love your first trip here. Hey, when's, you talk about doing a lot of ACC games. When's the last time you did some real mid or low major basketball? Because it's going to be a different experience for you.
God, it's been a little bit. I mean, in the non-conference, you get to see some of it, right? But in terms of a true mid-major game, I would maybe have to go back to when I was doing the Ivy League a few years ago. And what I actually think about mid-major basketball is it's more of a chess match. It's more of tactics. It's more of the way basketball kind of is supposed to be in its purest form, right? Whereas ACC, it's, hey, we're just going to try and out-athlete you. And so that I'm really looking forward to, in addition to getting a nice cold fiddlehead later tonight.
You certainly will be able to do that. And, my advice to you, or my I'll set the stage for you. 3,200 fans. It's going to be packed in. Patrick Gym is a nostalgic place. It's going to remind you of a glorified high school gym, but it's going to bring back some of those old-timey high school feels for you. It's going to be fun for you, I'm sure.
I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, I've watched it every year on TV, and when I say it's a bucket list, it really is. I mean, I've kind of been pushing to, I love doing the ACC, and I've been fortunate to do it on the radio the last 3 years for the ACC tournament. But with it being in Greensboro, and I wanted to shake it up this champ week, and to get this assignment honestly felt like hitting the lottery because again, it is nostalgic. It is, everyone's waking up. It's a standalone window. Everybody is watching this game, right? So many eyeballs, as we get a huge slate of a championship Saturday going.
Jay Alter from ESPN with us here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, WDEVradio.com. He's going to be at Patrick Gym tomorrow, Catamounts and UMass Lowell, 11 a.m. Remember, I've got the special pregame broadcast, 8:30 to 10:30 on our Facebook Live channel, so you can check that out digitally. I'm going to have a lot of stuff with some of your favorite former Catamount players and personalities. Jay, as you've kind of started to dig into the research here, 15 hours from game time, 18 hours from game time. What are you learning about this matchup?
Well, these are the two top teams in the conference, and obviously, we're in the championship game, but it's not, you don't always get that, right? But if you look at the stats and the KenPom numbers, UMass Lowell and Vermont are 1 and 2 in basically everything. So I'm glad we got the right two teams in the championship. And I don't think there's a lot that separates these two teams. I mean, I think Vermont, obviously, the program has just been there before, year in, year out, so you would make them the favorites, but they're doing it with new faces this year. A lot of transfers who have come in and made a real impact. So, they have the championship pedigree per se, but not necessarily with these guys. And then UMass Lowell's trying to make history, first team to ever go to the NCAA tournament for UMass Lowell. So, I mean, it's really all to play for. I think what'll be interesting in terms of real X's and O's, and I don't want to bore your listeners, but how does UMass Lowell use Koulibaly, who is a really back to the basket big man? I remember covering him at Pittsburgh. He's an ACC level talent that UMass Lowell is really fortunate to get, and Vermont doesn't have a guy that can really match up against them, and they like to go 1 through 5. So that'll be interesting. And then can they exploit Koulibaly on the offensive end, because he doesn't want to go out and guard you? And of course, the Catamounts always have 5 guys that can pass, dribble, and shoot on the court at all times. So that's a real interesting chess match. And it's funny, I always look for the fun stories. The only reason Koulibaly is even playing for UMass Lowell is when he came over to the United States from Mali, in Africa, his host family was Everett Hammond's mom and dad. So Everett Hammond, who's a guard on this UMass Lowell team, was like, hey, why don't you come play with us? And it's incredible. I mean, that is a legitimate bona fide ACC recruit, now in the America East Championship.
How do you like the dynamic that the America East is going to present, where you get the conference tournament final at a home team's regular gym, as opposed to the ACC style where it's a neutral site, as it is in most conferences?
I think the America East has it right. I think this is all about serving the fans, and what's better than a home gym? You earned the right. Make the regular season mean something. So I think every conference should do it the way the America East does it. You get to celebrate with your home fans. I just think that is what the sport is all about right there.
And the other thing I like about it is that the game is guaranteed to be well attended. I can't tell you how many times you see a neutral site tournament where the championship game has nobody there because the quote host team has been eliminated. This always guarantees you a good crowd.
I was watching the Colonial the other night because I think College of Charleston's a team that can make a really deep run. I mean, a really, really deep run. We're talking maybe a George Mason Final Four type run.
Wow.
And I'm watching them, and it's an empty gym in Washington, D.C. It's like, this game should be in Charleston. Could you? I mean, I've called games in that arena. I did the Charleston Classic in November. It'd be sold out, 3,500, loud and proud. What a scene that would be. And instead, you could hear a pin drop in D.C. So I think the America East has it right.
It's interesting. One of the storylines that I'm sure you're going to cover on the broadcast is Dylan Penn, who's arguably UVM's best player, at least down the stretch. Finn Sullivan Player of the Year, deservedly so, but Dylan Penn has carried them in the playoffs. He's only at Vermont because he was at Bellarmine last year, and they couldn't make the NCAA tournament. What do you make of the rule we saw bite Bellarmine last year, Merrimack this year, where you have this NCAA imposed postseason ban?
I did a Bellarmine game earlier this year, and speaking with their head coach, it's a disgrace. It really is. It upsets me because we have to be smarter than this. Common sense needs to enter the equation at some point. And look, they've paid their fee. They've proven they're a Division I bona fide program. Maybe you do a 1-year transition, but 4-year ban for the postseason. I mean, it's amazing they get kids to play there.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Everyone's trying to make the tournament. So, Dylan Penn, they rightly win the A-Sun last year and can't compete in March. I mean, it's so wrong. The NCAA is supposed to be pro-student athlete, right? We keep hearing that, pro-student athlete. Well, what's pro-student athlete about holding these teams out? It's a real shame, and I hate seeing it. I think we're going to continue to see it because I think there's a lot of these programs that are going to step up and continue to win. And what are you going to do? Just keep holding them out? It doesn't make any sense.
Dylan Penn has a very unique game. I'm curious what you've heard about him as you continue to get ready for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean, we just spoke with John Becker earlier today as they get ready for tomorrow's championship game, and I asked Dylan Penn about Dylan Penn. He said he's unlocked our offense. Before they obviously were winning a lot of games, but it was defensive minded. He feels like since Penn has been inserted into a big piece of the offense, not just scoring himself, but really opening it up for everybody. And he called him the difference maker on the offensive end.
Well, certainly can be. 26 points in the semifinal win over Binghamton, 11 of 17 shooting, and a rare 4 threes for Dylan Penn. So he certainly would take that performance again tomorrow morning. Jay Alter, ESPN. He's going to be on the call for ESPN 2 tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Jay, I look forward to meeting you in person, introducing myself in the media room before the game, and have a good call, and we'll talk. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, Brady, really looking forward to it. Don't be a stranger. And I'm just hoping I can hear myself call the game because I hear it's going to be that loud. So
it is going to be that loud. You'll enjoy the UVM band also. Trust me.
Oh, goodness. All right. I appreciate you having me. Good talking to you as always.
Absolutely. Good talking to you as well. Jay Alter, a guy we had on in a couple times in football season. He's done a bunch of Patriots games on ESPN radio. So they are back from the half, by the way, on the UVM women's game. It's still 17-10. We're 2 minutes gone by. No one's scored yet as we've come out of halftime. I'm going to recap what Jay Alter and I had to talk about in the 6 o'clock hour, but loved a lot of what he had to say. Loved the way he talked. Dylan Penn, a lot of good stuff. Reminder, tomorrow I am going to be broadcasting live from the America East title game. I want you to be watching along with me. We're going to do the broadcast on Facebook Live. It's going to be on Facebook Live only. It will not be on the actual radio. 8:30 until 10:30 will be the time there. So Facebook Live. I will have a YouTube link as well on my Twitter account, and a bunch of former Catamounts are going to stop by already. Duncan's going to come through. Steph Smith's going to come through on web chat. We're going to talk with Mike Trimboli. We'll have a good time. 8:30 to 10:30 tomorrow. Facebook Live. Just go to WDEV's Facebook page and check us out. A little Patriots news, including some stuff that makes me kind of sad. We'll talk about it next on DEV.
This is WDEV, Vermont's news station, owned and operated by the Radio Vermont Group. From the top of Sugarbush, 96.1 FM, WDEV Warren and Waitsfield, 96.5 W243 Barrie, 98.3 W252 CU Montpelier, along with our founding station, AM 550 WDEV Waterbury Montpelier, streaming at WDEVradio.com. 91 years of serving Vermont, the friendly pioneer, WDEV.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Flooding and power outages are reported throughout California amid another storm.
In many parts of Northern California, they are stacking sandbags. Last week, the concern was snow. This week, it's rain and floods. The rain is already coming down, and it's melting snow. That combination is what worries officials.
Flooding is imminent. Please evacuate your residents now.
Residents who are staying are trying their best to get ready.
We have our solar-powered lamps ready.
In some areas, the rains are forecast to continue into next week. Steve Futterman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Regulators have closed Silicon Valley Bank. CBS's Sarah Ewald-Weiss has more.
California banking regulators seized the assets of Silicon Valley Bank today after its stocks plunged yesterday. The financial institution is a major lender in the tech startup sector. The collapse pushed shares lower across nearly all financial institutions on Friday. The FDIC said deposits below the $250,000 limit would be available Monday morning.
Now let's talk about the latest jobless report with Bankrate.com's Mark Hamrick.
On balance, I think this is a good jobs report, but it may be a little too good for the likes of the Federal Reserve.
Employers added 311,000 jobs last month, while unemployment rose to 3.6%. The Dow lost 345 points today. A Texas man is suing 3 women who helped his ex-wife get medication for an abortion. Loyola law professor Lori Levinson weighs in.
If the ex-husband is successful in this case, it's likely to have an enormous chilling effect on others across the state from helping in any way a woman who tries to even get medication.
A new medication is out there for people who suffer from chronic migraines.
Pfizer says the FDA has approved its nasal spray, Zovegapant. It's marketed under the name Zavspret. The company says it can effectively mitigate migraines in adults with and without aura within 30 minutes, with results lasting up to 2 days. An expert at the National Headache Foundation, who was not involved in the drug's development, calls it an exciting addition to the toolbox that keeps getting bigger.
CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
I bring greetings from the free state of Florida.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis testing the political waters in the key state of Iowa. CBS's Aaron Navarro is there.
Voters in the crowd had former President Trump and DeSantis as their top 2 choices in the 2024 Iowa caucus. One woman said if she had to vote today, she would vote for DeSantis, citing his record in Florida, but she noted it's still early.
The governor is not yet officially declared. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
There are so many reasons to get hooked on Church's 8-piece shrimp meal. It's dippable, crunchable, downright irresistible, and it starts at $5.99. The only catch, it's only here for a limited time. Church's Texas Chicken. Welcome to the great state of flavor.
Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
A neighborhood in New Orleans is overcome with chickens. CBS's Stacey Lynn has the story.
Residents of St. Roch say the chickens have been roaming their neighborhood for years.
I've been seeing the chickens, I want to say, for about 26 years.
And they take care of them.
If I don't feed them the day before, they'll come underneath my bedroom and they'll stand there. Mama, come on out here and feed us.
So where are they coming from?
From an egg.
Well, clearly, but the strange thing is they have no idea where those eggs are.
No one's know where the lady is.
But they say it doesn't matter. They're great neighbors to have.
They're very good. They don't fight with nobody. They don't try to bite nobody.
Stacey Lynn.
They my baby and I love them so much.
CBS News. The humble egg has become a center of attention as inflation hits the nations of the European Union. The EU's statistical agency says the average price has risen by 30%. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
The Brady Farkas Show now has an interactive text line, so reach out now at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
We'll get to some Patriots news here momentarily, some NFL news also as well. An update right now on what's happening at UVM women's basketball. The Catamounts now with a 12-point lead. There's 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, and the Catamounts are up 25-13. And kind of what we talked about in the first half is playing out here in the second half. Emma Utterback's athleticism is key here. She's got multiple steals. She just gets out ahead of the break. She's the one who's able to create athletically in transition. She has been absolutely key to this game. And I've always said this. If you are going to win a championship and if you are going to win subsequently in the NCAA tournament, you need to get star-like performances from your stars, right? This team needs Emma Utterback to be very good. This team needs Delaney Richardson to be very good. This team needs Anna Olsen and Catherine Gilby to all be good. Like, this team needs star performances from their stars. But if you're going to win a big game like this, you also need something else. Something you aren't expecting, something that hasn't usually been the case on the stat sheet. And right now, UVM is getting that from a player named Bella Vito. Bella Vito is a starter on this team. She is a player who plays a lot, but she is not a player who scores a lot. So therefore, she is not a player that we talk about a lot. And Bella Vito has absolutely been integral in this game. She's got several offensive rebounds. She hit a tough and contested shot when the team was really struggling to get anything going offensively. She has been excellent today, and that is good stuff. And the Cats are up 25-13 here again in the third quarter. All right, I will continue to keep you posted on what's happening at Patrick Gym, and we will recap what Jay Alter had to say on that interview we had here as we move through the 6 o'clock hour. The breaking NFL news is this. The Carolina Panthers have traded up in the draft to get the number 1 pick. The Chicago Bears have moved back to number 9. And let's see what else the official deal is here. All right. So the Bears got two first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and they got Panthers wide receiver DJ Moore. So the Bears got a wide receiver, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. They'll move back to number 9 in the draft. So that's where we're at right now. This is huge for a lot of different reasons. Let's first start with Chicago. They are committing to Justin Fields. That's what they're telling you. Right? They had their choice at quarterback at number 1, and they're telling you we are committing to Justin Fields. He will be entering, like Mac Jones, year 3 of his rookie contract. So he will have not that much time to kind of figure this out. They're committing to you. You got to go now. So the Bears are committing to Fields. The Bears have also given Fields some more weaponry, right? So much about the Bears has been that Justin Fields has no help. The offensive line's been bad. The receiving targets have been bad. So they got Chase Claypool last year, and now this year they go out and get DJ Moore, who's a very exciting player at the receiver position. So that's Chicago. Carolina, obviously, they are going to take a quarterback now at number 1. There's no doubt about that. And for them, this is going to be a chance for them to get the quarterback position right in a way they haven't in the last 3 or 4 years, right? Cam Newton was their guy for a long time. Then they were kind of left with Cam, who was kind of damaged goods. And then they tried to get Matthew Stafford and couldn't. They tried to get Deshaun Watson and couldn't. They had Sam Darnold, who wasn't great. They had PJ Walker. They had Teddy Bridgewater. They had Baker Mayfield. So the Panthers have been trying at their post-Cam Newton quarterback here for a couple of years, and now they are going to be able to get it. So the Panthers will get a quarterback at 1. The Texans can easily take a quarterback at 2. Then you start to wonder after that what happens. The Cardinals are at 3. Does someone want to trade for them? Trade up with them to go get a quarterback. Indy's at 4. Are they screwed out of the quarterback market now because of what Carolina just did? Do they need to try to move up to 3? I don't know. But there's a lot of moving parts right now in the NFL. And here we are a month and change away from the draft and a couple days away from free agency. And the Bears have dealt the number 1 pick. Some breaking Patriots news from a few hours ago. Devin McCourty, Patriots stalwart, Patriots safety, has officially announced his retirement from the NFL.
I think that is a fact. I will always only look good in a patch uniform, but I will no longer look good in a patch uniform going forward. I'm officially retiring from the NFL. It has been a great ride. I got the opportunity to talk to Mr. Kraft, to talk to Bill, a lot of the guys on the defensive staff. Unbelievable ride, man. And, I think it's always tough to kind of come to the end. As you know, this whole offseason has been so much back and forth for me mentally, probably not even sharing as much of the thoughts that I was just going between from one day to the next day. But ultimately, I think this is the best decision for me, my family, for my career.
So McCourty is done. 13 seasons, all with the Patriots, 3 Super Bowl titles, 3 times an All-Pro, Pro Bowl player at both safety and at corner, and then also 907 career tackles, 35 career interceptions. Devin McCourty, an absolutely stellar career. The next stop for him is the Patriots Hall of Fame. I am shocked by this move. To be perfectly honest with you, I am shocked. I thought Devin McCourty was going to be back. When Matthew Slater announced that he was coming back, I thought that would trigger McCourty to come back. The two, for me, have always gone hand in hand. They're very, very close. We talk about them in the same breath all the time as leaders, as teammates, as playmakers, as great ambassadors for the community. I thought they were going to make decisions together on this. I thought they were going to coordinate. They obviously didn't. So I am surprised that Devin McCourty is hanging up the cleats. And it's a tough blow for a couple of different reasons. One, it's another link gone from the Patriots dynasty. As time goes on, the links to the titles get fewer and fewer. Tom Brady, gone. Gronk, gone. Logan Ryan, LeGarrette Blount, Steven Gostkowski, Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung, they are all gone. And that's tough, right? We think about the Patriots, we think about the dynasty, we think about their, those Super Bowl victories. There's not a whole lot of links left to them, especially big links. Now, Matthew Slater is one. David Andrews was a part of some of this to a degree, but you're starting to whittle away at the fabric of what you were, and that certainly is tough. And two, this opens up another really big hole in the secondary. Devin McCourty was a rock back there for 13 years. He was nearly always healthy. He was always available, and he was always good. You haven't had to worry about the back end of your secondary in a really long time if you are the Patriots, and now you do. Now, you have 2 safeties already. You have Adrian Phillips. You have Kyle Duggar. So you have some bodies back there, but it puts stress on those 2 guys to stay healthy. John Jones is a free agent. Jalen Mills is a guy you might cut. You're just not sure now. There's now holes in the secondary as a whole, and that is a worry for a guy in Bill Belichick who loves defense, for a Patriots team that's going to need its defense to be really good next year. You don't want to have questions, and now you have questions. McCourty leaving is a question. One of the things we loved about Kyle Duggar this year is his ability to kind of be a ball hawk. Well, McCourty probably afforded him some of that opportunity, right? McCourty would play back there, Phillips would play back there, and Duggar could kind of roam. Well, now you don't have that. You don't have that freedom. You don't have that ability. So I'm not sure what's going to happen on the Patriots defensive side. And the Pats need their defense to be good. We talked about this yesterday. Patriots offense is a work in progress. They're going to need help on that side of the ball again. McCourty gone. Maybe John Jones gone. Jalen Mills possibly gone. There are questions here. McCourty leaving creates more of them. 802-585-3026 is the Napa Morrisville Napa Waterbury text line. The UVM women's basketball team is currently up 28-15. 28-15 is your score there at Patrick Gym. There is 2 minutes left in the second half. 2 minutes left, 2 minutes left in the third quarter. So we have about 12 minutes to play in this game. The Catamounts are up 13. The defense for UVM has continued to be stellar. The offense for UVM has gotten better here in the second half, and some of their defense has led to offense. One of the keys also for UVM has been they're not fouling, and they are also being excellent on the glass. They have been great rebounding, which has limited UAlbany to one shot a lot of times. At halftime, UVM had double the amount of shots as UAlbany did, which is insane because UVM was getting some extra opportunities. Albany is kind of going one shot and out. I don't have the stats in front of me as far as, official rebounding totals, but it feels like Albany has not had many second chances at all. Catamounts have now doubled them up. It is 30-15 right now with 1 minute to play. Back on the Patriots front. Again, 802-585-3026. The Patriots were reportedly in attendance at Odell Beckham Jr.'s workout today, right? The longtime Giant, Browns, and Rams wide receiver held a workout today in advance of free agency. Smart on his part. The Patriots were there with, it sounded like 8 to 10 other teams. 802-585-3026. Do you want to see the Patriots make a run at OBJ, the former first-round pick and a Super Bowl champion? Remember, he got a title with the Rams. I don't want to give you a cop-out answer, but before I decide if I want Odell Beckham Jr. on the Patriots or if I want the Patriots to make a run, I have to ask this question because for me, it frames the rest of the discussion. What does Odell Beckham Jr. think he is? What does he expect? And what does he want to be? Before I decide if I can take a run at OBJ, I have to answer those questions. I have to know those answers. What does Odell Beckham Jr. think that he is? What does he want to be? And what are his expectations? Because if Odell Beckham Jr. sees himself as the same deep threat that he was in 2015, I don't think he's a fit for the Patriots. If he thinks he's the same go-to number one receiver that he was in 2015 with the Giants, I don't think he's a fit for the Patriots. I don't believe he is that guy anymore. And as a result, if he sees himself that way, I don't think he would be a fit on this roster. Odell Beckham Jr. is 30 years old. He's going to be 31 in November. So he'll turn 31, halfway through the season. So he'll play a lot of the season at the age of 31. He's coming off a year in which he missed an entire season, did not play at all in 2022. He's got 2 serious leg injuries now on his career resume. If OBJ is expecting to be a featured go-to guy, I cannot promise him that. I cannot promise him that on this team. If he's expecting to be the deep threat home run guy that he used to be, I can't promise him that either because I don't think that he is that guy. But he very well might see himself that way, and that's going to cause a problem. I think the Patriots are still a more conservative offense this year. I think they are still a more run-based offense this year. If OBJ wants to be going deep every play, if OBJ wants to be a home run threat, I don't think the Patriots are going to play that way. And if OBJ doesn't get what OBJ wants, that's going to cause a problem, and I'm going to have to pass. Now, if OBJ had expectations more in line with what I have in mind, then I would give OBJ a look. If Odell Beckham Jr. is willing to be a number 2 receiver and catch 55 to 65 balls and use his athleticism when we need it, I would give him a shot for sure. But I don't think that's going to do it for him. I just don't. Guys who have always been a number 1 have a hard time not seeing themselves as number 1. Now, I would take OBJ as a number 2 receiver, but I don't think he'd see himself that way. And that seems likely to cause a problem, right? Think about it this way. I remember in baseball, right, as a Mariners fan, Felix Hernandez was a stud for a decade, right? Won a Cy Young, threw a perfect game, should have won another Cy Young. One of your top pitchers in your fantasy baseball league for a long time. When Felix started to lose it, he couldn't come to grips with that. They wanted him to change his workout regimen. He wouldn't do it. Hey, this has always worked for me. They wanted to move him to the bullpen. I don't move to the bullpen. I am a starter. And it was a huge point of contention at the end of his career. It was a big deal. Adam Thielen was a guy who played at a Division III school Adam Thielen of the Vikings, right? Just got released today, but he's been with the Vikings. He was a D3 wide receiver and to work for everything. He earned himself to be the number 1 receiver in Minnesota. When Justin Jefferson gets there, it's probably easy for him to step aside and become the number 2. He was never used to being the number 1. OBJ has always been the number 1. And if he still expects himself to be that way, that's going to cause a problem because I don't think he's that guy anymore. My gut tells me that if I'm the Patriots, I am out on the idea of Odell Beckham Jr. Because I think this goes in one of 2 ways. OBJ is willing to be a number 2 on a championship level team, of which the Patriots are not perceived to be. So that would knock him out. Or OBJ is willing to go to a bad team in order to prove he's a number 1. And maybe someone's willing to give him that chance, but I'm not. Or there's just OBJ wants to be a number 1 on a great team, and I don't think he is that either. Someone should get OBJ. He will sign somewhere, but he's not going to sign with me, I don't think, because I just don't think that our goals and values are going to line up. 802-585-3026 here on the Napa Morrisville Napa Waterbury text line. Texter says, I love OBJ in New England. The Patriots need a big threat. The Patriots do need a big threat, but the Patriots need a threat who isn't expecting to always be a threat, if that makes sense, right? Like, let's just consider Tyquan Thornton, okay? Tyquan Thornton is the receiver the Patriots took out of Baylor last year in the 2nd round. He comes in here, right? He's on a rookie contract. He was hurt a lot of last year. He probably didn't come in here demanding a whole lot. So if Tyquan Thornton catches 45 balls and is the rare deep threat, then that for him is probably good enough. If OBJ comes here and catches 45 balls and is a rare deep threat, that's never going to be good enough for him. So I feel like you need that guy who isn't expecting to be the deep threat. Right? Does that make sense? Like, I would still take a receiver number 1, potentially at 14 in the draft. That guy's going to come in with some expectations too. But as a rookie, they're probably not going to be that mouthy about their expectations. OBJ could potentially be mouthy about it. He's going to make his demands known. A 1st-round receiver is probably still likely to play the good soldier like Thornton in that 1st year. Texter says, I think OBJ is a number 3 receiver at this point, at best. It's very possible. Again, he missed the entire season last year. We don't know what he is. And he's got 2 major injuries under his belt. Now, the devastating ankle injury he had with the Giants and the torn ACL from the Super Bowl against the Rams. So he might be a number 3. But guys who have always been number 1s, they always think they're number 1s, and that's just the way this goes, right? And that's part of the reason why they got to be so good is because they always have a belief and a confidence in themselves. But I just don't think OBJ necessarily, like if OBJ is willing to sacrifice, he's going to do it for a team that wants to win a title. And if he's not going to go to a team that wants to win a title or thinks they're going to win a title, then he's going to want to prove that he's the man. And I don't think that either of those things line up with what the Patriots are. All right, let's get to who's saying what.
Whoa. What did he say?
What is he doing? He's stealing money. What the hell is he doing? He should have gotten the surgery. They were out of it in August. Why did they get the surgery done in August? They could have played beginning of the year.
Preacher.
That's a joke with him.
They really said that?
Every damn thing is politics and race. And I'm losing my mind over it.
It's time for Who's Saying What on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Texter says Antonio Brown thought he was a number one, and look how that worked out for him. Antonio Brown's issues were not that, I don't think. Like, Antonio Brown was a number one. He couldn't keep his head on straight in any number of other ways. So I don't think it was a perception versus reality thing with Antonio Brown. In terms of who he was as a football player, it was perception versus reality with Antonio Brown in terms of who he was as a person. So, all right, who's saying what? Jonathan Jones, I mentioned, is a Patriots defensive back who's now a free agent. He was talking with NBC Sports Boston the other day, and he was asked about what he thinks of Mac Jones.
Definitely. I mean, he has all the tools. He has all the mechanics to be, a quarterback in this league and a top quarterback in this league. I think it's just going to come down to, the right situations and getting that consistency and just continue to develop. I look at myself coming in undrafted. It's a process, and I think a lot of people want ready-made results, and that's just not always the case. But just, as long as he continues to strive to get better and get better, it'll always work out.
All right, so Jonathan Jones says Mac Jones has all the tools to be a top quarterback in this league. No, he doesn't. Simply put, no, he doesn't. But look, I get it. I expect Jonathan Jones to say that, and I respect that he said that. They've been through the battles together. Mac Jones is his buddy. Jonathan Jones is a free agent who would like to get re-signed by the Patriots, so he's not going to go out and talk bad about a guy who he hopes to play with. I know why you're saying that, and I expect you to say that, but you and I know both that that's not true. Mac Jones does not have all the tools to be a top quarterback in this league. Not right now. Mac Jones doesn't have the speed of Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have the power of Josh Allen. He doesn't have the arm strength and the ingenuity of Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't even have the kind of pizzazz factor that Joe Burrow has. Mac Jones has all the tools to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That is true. Like Jared Goff, like Jimmy Garoppolo, like Dak Prescott, like Geno Smith, like all of these other quarterbacks who are good, but not great, like Kirk Cousins. These guys are all starters. They all deserve to be in the league, and they are all probably better than we give them credit for, but they are not the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Mac Jones does not have the stuff to be a top quarterback in the NFL. He is good. He has the potential with a great situation to have a very good season, but he is not a top-tier quarterback. He just isn't. And Jonathan Jones knows that. I promise you that if Jonathan Jones was playing defense against, if Jonathan Jones is a defender, he's looking on the schedule and he's saying, okay, we got Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, we got all that, Hurts. Oh, we got Mac. That's the guy we want to play. 100%. You know it and I know it. That Mac Jones is the quarterback he would want to face most of several different matchups. So I appreciate that you're sticking up for your buddy, but Mac Jones does not have the goods to be the top quarterback in the NFL or to be a top quarterback in the NFL. An update on the UVM and UAlbany game. 6:40 to play. UVM up 8, 30-22. Albany is on a 7-0 run. They have upped the intensity defensively. Catamounts have gone cold from the field. If you're thinking about wondering who's kind of carried UVM in this game, I don't have all the stats in front of me, but Emma Utterback is the player who has carried them offensively. Anna Olson's done some nice things. Delaney Richardson has hit at least 1-3. Catherine Gilwey has really struggled from the floor, but Bella Vito, again, has done a great job on the rebounding front. I'm going to can we pull up the stats here right now? Yes, we can. So let's I'll tell you exactly kind of where everyone is at right now. Catherine Gilby is having a dreadful shooting game right now. She's got a lot on her plate, obviously, in terms of being the point guard for this team, but she is 0 for 14 from the floor. So, and they're not all bad shots. She's had some looks, but she has had to force some. Emma Utterback has 15. She has half of UVM points. Olsen has 7. And as for Bellavito, she has 9 rebounds, 4 of which are offensively. So excellent job. And Olsen has 14 rebounds right now to go along with 7 points. So just a dominant game down low for her. She's got 9 points now, big bucket there, 32-22. Catamounts is your score. Speaking of the Catamounts, we're going to take a look at the men's side of thing. Texter says, what TV station is the women's game on? It's on ESPNU. If you do not get that, you can watch it on ESPN Plus if you have an account there. Utterback scores again. She's got 17. The Cats are up 12. 5 minutes to play as we head towards a media timeout. We'll go from the UVM women to the UVM men. And Jay Alter of ESPN was with us in the last hour, gave his thoughts on the America East Championship game ahead between UVM and UMass Lowell. We'll react to what he had to say. That's next on the Brady Farkas Show, brought to you by Fecto Homes here on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com.
Hi, this is Mike Goslin with a few reasons you should buy your next vehicle at Cody Chevrolet Cadillac. Selection, we have the best selection of new and certified pre-owned Chevrolets and Cadillacs with the lowest prices in Central Vermont. Experience, our friendly, qualified employees are focused on exceeding your expectations. Service, our award-winning state-of-the-art service department with a convenient drive-through service lane. Location, we are conveniently located near Routes 2, 302, and I-89 on the Barry Montpelier Road, or online at CodyChevrolet.com. Cody is why, Chevy's the buy. Chevrolet, find new roads.
While Vermont has weathered the pandemic relatively well, COVID-19 infections are still occurring, and many Vermonters are still unboosted, leaving them more susceptible to severe infection. Also, doctors are reporting a new, even more infectious variant circulating in the region and across the country. Every Saturday from February through April, from 9 to noon, the Health Center in Plainfield is hosting free vaccine clinics for the general public, and no appointment is necessary. Vaccines will be available for COVID-19 and influenza for all ages. Keep in mind there are no longer any public COVID clinics. COVID vaccine and boosters are only available now at your local doctor's office, at the pharmacy, or at the health center in Plainfield. Be wise, immunize. For more information, call the health center at 454-8336. That's 454-8336.
In 6 decades, a lot has been said about Gillespie Fuels and Propane. Here's just a sampling.
What makes Gillespie Fuels different, aside from being a family business? They're going to make things right and do whatever it takes. Karen and her team, they certainly go to great lengths to make sure that their customers are taken care of.
The best service and a great price on propane.
Guys are there at a moment's notice and get the job done quickly and get you back running.
The pricing is solid and the service is unbeatable.
Their prices are very competitive, and the promptness on service is why I stick with them.
I would say the word that represents them is integrity. They do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it.
With offices in Northfield, Randolph, and Waitsfield, delivery and service requests are handled 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right here in Vermont, by people who know the temperature and where you live. Gillespie Fuels and Propane, 60 years of Vermonters serving Vermonters, 485-3766.
Hi, this is Tracy Lewis, Executive Director of the Barry Partnership. Have you heard? We've just announced something big is coming to Barry on Saturday, April 1st. Finalists on America's Got Talent. They've performed more than 7,000 shows worldwide. That's right. Recycled Percussion is coming to the Barry Auditorium Saturday, April 1st at 7 p.m. This junk rock band formed in Manchester, New Hampshire became one of the most successful acts on the Las Vegas Strip for more than 10 years. And they're coming to Barry. Get your tickets now. This show will sell out. Recycled Percussion is coming to the Barry Auditorium Saturday, April 1st, showtime 7 p.m. Get your tickets from the Barry Partnership's website and Facebook pages. For more information about the Barry Partnership, email director@thebarrypartnership.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date with all things happening here in Barry. Recycled Percussion is coming to the Barry Auditorium Saturday, April 1st, showtime 7 p.m. Get your tickets now.
WDEV also serves the Northeast Kingdom at 101.9 W270VR Island Pond. Do you love a bargain? Then the WDEV Trading Post online marketplace is for you. Get great deals on goods and services from local businesses, furniture, gift certificates, recreation discounts. You'll never know what you'll find. All deals are at a reduced price. Save money, and maybe you'll discover something new. The offerings and prices are constantly changing, so check back regularly at tradingpostmarketplace.com.
Think you know sports better than Brady does? Text in with your thoughts at 802-585-3026.
This is Freddie Coleman of ESPN, and you're listening to Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in. Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV, AM and FM at WDEVradio.com. Worst case scenario stuff right now for the UVM women's basketball team. The Catamounts lead is down to 5. It is 34-29. There are 4.5 minutes to play. UVM has had to send Emma Utterback to the bench with her 4th foul. And we've said it all season for the UVM women. If there's one thing that they can't afford to have, it's foul trouble. They are not particularly deep, right? Again, we've said this before too. They are getting more contributions from their bench, but those contributions cannot supplant what Emma Utterback brings to this team. So now Utterback's on the bench with 4 fouls. Here's what UVM has lost. They have lost an excellent defender. They have lost their most athletic player, who is the only one, again, who can kind of create offensively against Albany's defense. And now, as Albany has started to press, UVM has lost a senior leader who has composure and has lost a key ball handler. And UVM has turned the ball over on 2 consecutive possessions, and it's potentially a third here. It's a jump ball. I have to see which way it goes. But Albany is pressing. UVM has turned it over on back-to-back possessions. They're having trouble getting the ball inbounds. They're having trouble breaking the press. They're having trouble bringing it in. And now they've brought Emma Utterback back in. They can't afford to have her out. And if I'm Albany, I'm going to go right at her and try to get her that 5th foul. So we will see what happens here. But this is worst-case scenario stuff with Utterback getting her 4th foul. They can't afford to have any of their starters really out of this thing. And now with Utterback in foul trouble, it's a big deal. That jump ball went Albany's way. So it's 3 consecutive turnovers here for the Catamounts against the press as we come up on 4 minutes to play. 34-29. We'll get to the UVM men in a minute. I just want to ask people, just a blanket question. How are you as excited as I am by all of this? Because I said at the beginning of the show that if I'm this invested, and I'm not from here and I didn't go to UVM, if I'm this invested, how invested are all you? I assume that all of you are as invested or more than I am. I want to hear it from you. How excited are you? Am I overstating it? Am I understating it? How many of you are going to Patrick Gym tomorrow? How many of you are planning your Saturday around it? How many of you, when the brackets come out, can't wait to see if UVM is there, both men and women? You should be feeling that way. I'm here to tell you. You should be excited. There's a text from Ronald. There's a text from Nancy. There's a text from Marvin. They all say that they are in on these Catamount teams, and a couple of them say specifically really rooting for the UVM women. Yeah, the Catamount women, it's a great story, but they're more than a great story. They are an excellent team. And jump ball there. That one's going to go UVM's way. 3.5 minutes to play. Texter says, Brady, you do talk too much about UVM. I disagree. And we're in Vermont. It's the only D1 school in Vermont. Texter says, talk more about Norwich. Well, we talk with Cam Ellsworth every single week, and I can't wait to see what happens with the Norwich men's hockey team up against Plattsburgh tomorrow night, 7:00. We're going to have the coverage for you on DEV as well. So looking forward to that. Also looking forward to high school hoops tomorrow. We've got the D3 title game between Hazen and Winooski. That's going to be a 3:30 start for us. And then again, the Plattsburgh-Norwich game in hockey at 6:35. All right. We had Jay Alter on earlier. He's the broadcaster for ESPN who's going to be on the call for UVM and UMass Lowell. He brought up a very interesting point here strategically in this game.
You know, how does UMass Lowell use Koulibaly, who is a really back-to-the-basket big man? I remember covering him at Pittsburgh. He's an ACC level talent that, UMass Lowell is really fortunate to get. And Vermont doesn't have a guy that can really match up against him. Yeah. And they like to go 1 through 5. So that'll be interesting. And then can they exploit Koulibaly on the offensive end? Because he doesn't want to go out and guard you. And, of course, the Catamounts always have 5 guys that can pass, dribble, and shoot on the court.
Yeah, interesting stuff there. So UMass Lowell has a big guy that is a big problem. And John Becker said they are very, very big. So the question for UVM becomes a couple of different things. One, how can UVM defend the big man in the post? They're going to need to get, obviously, contributions from Robin Duncan. They're going to have to get contributions from Matt Veretto. And then on the bench, coming off the bench, they're going to have to be able to get contributions from Nick Fiorillo. John Becker mentioned that specifically the other day, that Nick Fiorillo is coming back from injury. We haven't seen him much. We've seen him for 10 minutes here, 12 minutes here or so. He said, we got to get him in. We had to get him in the games. We want him ready for this challenge. So Nick Fiorillo is going to have to provide them something off the bench, at least defensively and rebounding, holding his own to give guys a break. So that's on the defensive side of things. Rebounding, obviously, is the same. Got to be able to keep him off the glass. Offensively, I think will be the bigger thing. Jay Alter says he doesn't want to go outside the lane. Well, how does UVM try to get him in a mismatch? Because Robin Duncan's not going to be a guy who shoots the ball from deep. So that's not who you want on him. You want to try to create situations where Matt Veretto's on him, where a guard's on him, and where he won't follow them out there, and you can create some threes. UVM can get some threes from Finn Sullivan. They can get them from Veretto. They got to find a way to get the big guy involved in guarding those guys, where they can then create some easy shots or some open outside looks at least. So that's going to be a big factor in this game, how they can create shots on the outside. Also from Jay Alter, he had this to say about what he's heard about Dylan Penn.
John Becker earlier today, as they get ready for tomorrow's championship game, and I asked Dylan Penn about Dylan Penn. He said he's unlocked our offense. Before they obviously were winning a lot of games, but it was defensive minded. He feels like since Penn has been inserted into a big piece of the offense, not just scoring himself, but really opening it up for everybody. And he called him the difference maker on the offensive end.
Yeah, Dylan Penn has helped open up the offense. It was a decision that was made by the Catamounts and by John Becker probably early on in conference play. It's what we called for, remember? Dylan Penn being the point guard. This is something UVM did that was absolutely a necessity. Remember back earlier in the year, Dylan Penn's playing off the ball. And that was a problem because Dylan Penn is not really an outside shooter. So he stands in the corner, gets the ball, and then what's he going to do with it? Robin Duncan's not an outside shooter. So now what's he going to do with it? And Finn Sullivan is a shooter. He was playing point guard. Well, if he's playing point guard, it's kind of hard for him to create for himself when he's got to worry about getting everybody involved. So basically, you were taking a lot of different offensive pieces and putting them in places where they weren't going to be real advantageous to you. Early in conference season, John Becker switched it up, which is exactly what we called for. Dylan Penn played the point guard position, and then he was going to be able to have the ball in his hands, use his athleticism to bring the ball up the court, get downhill, get a full head of steam, and then he could kick to shooters like Finn Sullivan. Both Dylan Penn and Finn Sullivan took off when John Becker made that change, because now Finn Sullivan's able to stand on the perimeter, and he's able to stand on the perimeter. He's able to catch and shoot. Dylan Penn's able to have all that momentum going towards the basket, and that's what you look for. And that's how the offense runs. And starting, about game 4 or 5 in conference, Catamounts did that. And that's exactly what they should have done. So, and, that's what we thought they should have done all along. One of the first highlights that I ever saw of Dylan Penn were, I was like, okay, this guy needs to have the ball in his hands and just needs to get downhill, needs to be able to go to the basket, and then needs to be able to draw defenders and needs to be able to kick out. That's what I was looking for all along. The minute that UVM started doing that is when the offense took off. And finally, Jay Alter talked about loving the way the America East handles the conference tournament, which allows you to play all of your games at the higher seeded building rather than a neutral site like most other conference tournaments.
I think the America East has it right. I think this is all about serving the fans, and what's better than a home gym? You earned the right. Make the regular season mean something. So I think every conference should do it the way the America East does it. You get to celebrate with your home fans. I just think that is what the sport is all about right there.
I don't know if every conference should do it, but I do love the way this works out for the America East. I do love the way this works out for UVM for a couple of different reasons. The main reason is what Jay said, in that the UVM women's game is getting very interesting. I will give you an update on that in a second. But I love that the higher seeded teams get to host games, which allows you a chance to get to the best team winning the conference. And that's important, because if the best team can win the conference, then the best team goes to the NCAA, and that team has the best chance to win a game. And if you win a game, then that's good for the league exposure, money-wise, etc. So that's good. This system creates the best team having a chance to go to the tournament. The other reason is for the fans. Right? The game is always guaranteed to be well attended. The championship game will always be attended. It's no good when you go to these smaller conference tournaments and the games are sparsely attended. That's like the worst, right? I can't tell you, when I was living in Albany, how many times I went to the MAC tournament in Albany, and when Siena was out, the building just emptied. And you get a championship game nationally televised on Monday with, 1,100 fans. You don't want that. You want your building full, and having a game on campus assures you a full gym. That's what we've got right now for the UVM women, who earned it. That's what we got for the UVM men tomorrow. And it does make your regular season matter. You are always playing for something. Everybody says, in a one-bid league, all that matters is the tournament. Well, the conference tournament. Well, yeah, but to have the best chance to win the conference tournament, your regular season matters, and that's important. So, good stuff. Okay, the UVM women up 36-31 with 38 seconds to play. Catamounts have gotten to the free throw line a couple of times. Emma Utterback went 1 of 2. Catherine Gilwey went 1 of 2. Utterback has 18 points. She has exactly half of UVM's scoring. Gilwey, 0 for 15 from the floor. We loved having her on yesterday. She was great. This is not one of her better statistical games. Again, she's had a lot on her plate. She's had to take some really tough shots. The shot clock buzzer going down. It's not as ugly as it looks. She's kind of been put into some of those positions, but she does have just the 1 point. But how about 16 rebounds from Anna Olsen to go along with 9 points? How about Bella Vito with 9 rebounds? 37 and a half seconds to play. The Catamounts are that long away from a trip to the NCAA tournament. They are up 5 points. We'll come back and put a bow on the show and tell you how this one ends. We'll do it next here in the Brady Farkas Show, brought to you by Fecto Homes on DEV. 36-33 with 34 seconds to play.
Hey, everybody, I'm Lee Cattell. Have your lunch with Brady Farkas and me weekdays on the Midday News Service. The latest local news, Brady's sports report, Roger Hill updates from the Forecast Center, plus business, interviews, and breaking news as it happens. The Midday News Service, weekdays during the noon hour on Vermont's news and sports leader, WDEV FM and AM. Streamed at WDEVradio.com.
The secret to a great day on the slopes is a great tune from Black Dog Sports in Killington. First, they evaluate the condition of the equipment, then move to the latest winter Steiger base preparation. Next comes the hand tuning by the staff at Black Dog Sports, including Dave Manning, one of the best in the U.S. He uses the highest quality waxes and techniques. World-class ski tuning is worth the trip to Black Dog Sports, located in the Mountain Green Resort on East Mountain Road in Killington. Black Dog Sports.
Are you looking to get rid of your used mobile home? Here at Fecto Homes, we don't just sell new mobile homes, we also buy used. If you have a used mobile home that you are looking to sell, we can either accept it as trade and apply the value to a new home with us or purchase it outright. We offer fair prices and quick removal of your mobile home. So reach out to us for a quote today. Fecto Homes, 350 River Street, Montpelier, or visit us at fectohomes.com for more information.
The Norwich University men's hockey team has some new life after Babson bounced the Cadets out of the New England Hockey Conference tournament in the semifinals.
There's Kavanaugh, who was on the ice for that near miss for Babson, leading a rush, and they score. So now it is 2-0 Beavers as they tip it in front up over the shoulder of Atherton with 8:08 to play in the second.
Just like that defeat, the Cadets earned an at-large bid in the NCAA Division III tournament, and they'll play an opening round game Saturday night against Plattsburgh. Tune in right here for all the action. Cadets Hockey on WDEV is brought to you by Bolduc Metal Recycling in Middlesex, Packard Fuels in East Montpelier, PackardFuels.com, and Mansfield Orthopedics, a specialty practice at Copley Hospital, CopleyVT.org. Norwich at Plattsburgh Saturday night, 6:35 on the Rock of Ages WDEV Norwich Hockey Network, presented by Northfield Savings Bank.
Local businesses advertise with WDEV because they get results. Brian Bittner of Bittner Antiques shares his experience advertising with WDEV.
We've done a number of recorded ads with WDEV, which have a great response. And we've also been doing live radio call-ins once a week for the past few years. And the response at that has just been amazing.
Interested in advertising on WDEV? Contact us at WDEV@radiovermont.com.
Your chance to be part of the show is on the text line at 802-585-3026.
This is Field Yates of ESPN, and you're listening to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV Radio and the WDEV app.
We're coming out of the wire in the UVM women's game, 37-33 Catamounts with 19 seconds to play. Let me tell you this tomorrow. You've heard us talk about, and you've heard the ads for R&L Archery. R&L Archery is located at 70 Smith Street in Barrie. Let me tell you real quick. Tomorrow, they are doing something incredible. They open up tomorrow at 9 a.m. They're an outdoor sporting goods store in Barrie. They open at 9 a.m. You stop in tomorrow early. You want to get there as early as possible. Get there at 9, get there at 10. You put your name in a raffle, right? You put your name on a piece of paper, it goes into the raffle, and that gets you in the raffle, obviously. Then you will have one chance to try a combination in a safe. If you can get it right, you're going to win, right? So you're going to get your name in the raffle. You're going to get a chance to guess what the combination to the safe is. If you guess right, there's $4,000 worth of stuff in there. $4,000 worth of stuff. If you get it right, you get all the $4,000. If at the end of the day, nobody has guessed it right, then they're going to pull a winner. So somebody tomorrow is winning $4,000 worth of outdoor sporting goods. Like, I'm looking at their website right now, rnlarchery.com. They've got hunting stuff. They've got archery stuff. There's stuff there with guns. They got a lot of apparel and equipment in there that you outdoor sportsmen and sportswomen will love. Okay, they are located at 70 Smith Street in Barrie. They open at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Again, here's what happens. You get there early. You put your name in the raffle. Once you do that, you are guaranteed an opportunity to try to guess the combination to the safe. If you guess right, $4,000 worth of stuff in the safe is yours. Yours, no strings attached. If you don't get it right, okay. If nobody else gets it right, then they're going to pull a winner. So you're going to have two chances to try to win all this stuff. Either get the combination to the safe or maybe just get your name pulled. $4,000 worth of stuff. R&L Archery, Smith Street in Barrie. The UVM women's basketball team, 11 seconds to play, up 37-33. They are 11 seconds away from their first trip to the NCAA tournament in 13 years. We are stuck in a review right now about whose ball it is. This is a big decision here. I did not get a look really at it, but I'm going to stay on the air until we find out who officially wins this game. Jazz with George Thomas is supposed to go from 7 till 9. If this game goes beyond 7, sorry, CBS News. Sorry, Jazz with George Thomas. I'm staying on the air. I've been doing double duty watching this game and talking to you and reading the text line all show long. I deserve to see how it ends, and you deserve to hear how it ends. So I'm willing to bump whatever else is necessary in order to bring you the end of it. 11 seconds to play. Albany ball. Albany takes it out underneath their basket. Here I'm doing some play-by-play. Albany wide open three. She hits it. 37-36, 9 seconds to play. The Catamounts have to get the ball inbounds. Bellavito inbound pass. Delaney Richardson has it. She is fouled. She's going to go to the line, and she's going to get 2 free throws. Delaney Richardson will have 2 free throws with 7 seconds left to try to get up here by 3. Unbelievable drama, as Stuart Scott used to say. I feel like I'm like on the whip around coverage of the NCAA tournament. Remember, like they'll go, okay, we're going to this game. Now we're going to Chicago. Now we're going to Portland. Now we're going to Buffalo. That's kind of what I feel like right now. Like 1 minute I'm talking Patriots. 1 minute I'm talking R&L Archery. The next minute I'm talking UVM men's hoops. And now here we are, Delaney Richardson at the line with 7 seconds to play. Texter gives me a thumbs up emoji. I don't know what we're thumbs upping, but I thank you very much for that. I don't know if they're telling me thumbs up to R&L Archery, thumbs up to, I don't know, but thank you very much. Remember, the Brady Farkas show, as we're looking at a review here, probably on the time. Brady Farkas show tomorrow, broadcasting live from the America East Men's Basketball Championship game. I'm going to be there 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., so I'll be there for 2 hours for the official, well, unofficial pregame show. You can watch it on Facebook Live. You can stream it on YouTube as well. I have a link on my Twitter account, 8:30 till 10:30. It's very, very simple. And just watch us on Facebook Live. Mike Trimboli's going to stop by. Ernie Duncan, Steph Smith, some of your favorite former Catamounts are going to be with us. Texter says, thank you for updating us on the game. So, yeah. I don't know what we're reviewing here. I don't know what we're reviewing. Delaney Richardson was fouled. I think it's the time, but I'm not 1,000%. Are they seeing if it was an intentional foul? I mean, obviously they were trying to foul Delaney Richardson, but I don't know. Again, I'm watching this game right now with no sound on, so your guess is as good as mine. Do they think Bellavito moved illegally, passing the ball in, didn't keep her feet stationary? I think it's the time. I think Delaney Richardson was fouled with 7.5 seconds left, and they had it at 7.1. So I think she's going to get a chance here to shoot free throws and try to, potentially win this game. But Albany has no timeouts remaining, it appears. So if Delaney Richardson misses free throws, they're going to have to go the length of the court in 7 seconds or so. But again, we're going to stay on here until this game ends. 7.1 seconds to play. If it goes overtime, we're all screwed because then I can't bump George Thomas for that long. He came in today and made the long drive from his home. He's got to go on the air at an appropriate time. So we better not go overtime. They clearly, I hope they're not looking at this as in terms of an intentional foul. They clearly tried to foul her, but it wasn't malicious intentional. It's just, they did call something intentional. Richardson is at the line shooting the intentional free throws, missed it. So it's 37-36. She's going to shoot one more intentional free throw, hits it. It's 38-36. And now UVM has the ball, so they're going to have to take it out. They're going to have to get it in, and then they're going to have to hit more free throws. Albany, again, has no timeouts, so we should just be able to take you right until the end here. Bellavito passes it in. Catherine Gilwee has it. The CVU product will go to the line with 5.5 seconds to play. And if she hits both, this game is effectively over. If she hits one, Albany will have a chance to go down the floor and tie the game. 5.5 seconds to play. Gilwee waiting for the ball from the ref. The last moments of a basketball game, I tell you what, when we talk about timeouts and reviews, someone called a timeout. Oh, my goodness. Well, now I know this commercial we're going to have to move, and that commercial we're going to have to move, and sorry to, let's see. That can all be moved. We're good. No issues there, everybody. Everybody's okay. I would love to get you on here without having to blow through the CBS News, but I can't promise you that that's not going to happen. So Catherine Gilwee going to go to the line. Jazz with George Thomas is standing by, trying to get on here at its proper time. Again, remember, UVM men's basketball tomorrow will broadcast live 8:30 until 10:30. So Ernie Duncan, Jake Marsh is going to stop by as well. Remember, he is a podcast personality over at Barstool Sports with the Pardon My Take crew. So excellent stuff there from Jake. He'll be with us, I think, at about 9:45. We're going to have him come in. So I'm looking forward to seeing Jake Marsh. I've not seen him for a while since he left the UVM broadcast scene. Yeah, he got the Barstool, but before that, he was a broadcaster at UVM. Texter says, I want to hear the end of the game. I'm not leaving you, I promise you. But the CBS News, we're going to join it in progress. If the bosses want to get mad at me, then so be it. I'll take it on the chin. Catherine Gilwee at the line. She has 1 point, 1 for 2 at the line today. The ref is getting confirmation from the other ref and the scorers table that they are ready to go. Other ref has their hand up. Now, are we going to shoot the free throws, people? Give the ball to Gilwee and let's get these free throws shot, please. Everybody wants to see how this ends, including me. CVU product, Catherine Gilwee at the line. Misses the first. 6.7 seconds to play. So clearly they put on a second, 1.2 seconds. Gilwee's got to hit this. Albany has enough time to move down the floor. If she misses, though, maybe a rebound gets batted around and wastes some time. Gilwee misses that one, too. That's exactly what happens. The rebound gets batted out, but it goes off Gilwee. There's 4 seconds to play. Albany does not have a timeout. They are going to have enough time to get a shot off. The question is, will they get the 3 off or will they get the 2 off? Albany's taking it out relatively. They're on the side, but they're on their own side of the floor. So they get a ball in deep in the backcourt. Going towards half court, 3 seconds. Half court heave. No, UVM wins it. They're going dancing. I'm joining CBS News in progress. See you tomorrow from Patrick Jim for the America East title game. Go, Cats, go.
This is WDEV, Vermont's news station, owned and